Hello everyone. I was wanting to take a quick minute and give you an update on how things are going over here, let you know how we all are, and maybe show you a few things that I've been working on, especially a couple things that I've built with lumber that I milled on the mill. I guess I'll tear into it pretty quick. First of all, we're doing all right. Yeah, we're in Western Washington where the worst cases of this COVID-19 are going on, but living away from everybody, it's not too hard on us. We have our own food storage, we've got plenty of things to do, so social distancing is, you can probably tell, I'd rather be alone anyway, so it's not hurting me much. The kids are home from school, which is unfortunate in one way, but we've been out exploring, learning about cattail, what we can eat, kind of making the fluff fly in the wind. My daughter's been loving that. And they've just shifted from reading and math. They do plenty of reading and math anyway here. I'm not trying to say they don't do it anymore, but instead of the focus being reading and math and some of those other really important things that they've been learning at school, they've been shifted over to more of the hands-on nature building and exploring the world things. So all in all, we've been pretty happy. There's a possibility that we've had the virus go through our family. I don't know. We haven't been tested. We're all fairly young, so we didn't see any symptoms that were severe enough to be a concern. So we're just trying to keep our distance from people just so we don't pass anything along, doing our part, huh? Let me show you some things I'm excited about. Now that all that doom and gloom's out of the way, right? So check this out. So taking a look over here, you can barely see it. There's a little tree hanging out right there. That is a cross between a mountain ash and a aronia berry. Supposed to make some pretty fun berries. I've always loved the mountain ash for personal reasons, so we're excited to have that right there. I built this trellis of sorts, if you'd call it that, for wild kiwi or hardy kiwi, some kiwi plants. This is all made from the cedar from those power poles that I was telling you about. So I've got a female here on this end and a male over there, and they're going to grow up along the side of the shipping container and help shade my power room in there so things don't get so hot in the summertime. I feel like it's just a perfect place to put those, and I'm really excited to try the hardy kiwi. They're supposed to be pretty good. So you can see, sawmill, we've been working really hard using it. I've erected just a little portion of what was an old carport to cover it up, to protect it from the rain and the elements a little bit. I feel like it's doing a pretty good job of being protected there, and man, the more I use it, the more I love it. Right here behind it, this is most of a single tree that I've cut. Trying to make some of this lumber for what's going to be a chicken coop and a goat pen, and a few other little simple structures around. It's all dug fir, except for on the very top I have some small sheets of that already dried cedar. It's kind of a temporary roof because we're getting another bout of rain, and then I can do something a little better. Walking through the garden, I haven't planted much. We do have a couple peas coming up, but my dog keeps digging them out because she's chasing all of the moles out of the garden. I'm kind of nonchalant at this moment, but here in the next few days we're going to start planting our greens. Got this hanging out behind me here. These are grape trellises that I've put together. We're going to have 3 grapes growing, and I'm going to try this out. I've never grown grapes personally. I've only seen them grown. And this is a little different method than what I've seen. I was looking at, a wire trellis, because that's what I'm familiar with. But this idea, this design came up a couple of times, and it just seemed to fit what I needed. So I've built them this way. Again, they're all made out of cedar, and then I used a torch to kind of char the surface of the cedar. That's why they look all black. They're just charred. I'm hoping that charring will make them last 50 years in the ground here. So I have 3 different grapes growing in this space, and I'm excited to see what they taste like. So the 3 different grapes, I had to look at the tags to remember their names, but I've got Neptune, Jupiter, and Agria. Not that I know right off the top of my head what makes them distinct. I know the Agria is supposed to be a pretty good juice for anything from wine to juice. It's pretty good one, and these other 2 are supposed to be relatively good table grapes, fresh eating type things, plus I can't think of a grape that doesn't make an alright grape juice, so pretty excited about all of that. Definitely got some clearing to do around the orchard still, but the orchard's coming along. The trees are growing relatively healthily. Most of them are healthy except for one apple tree is having a little bit of trouble. Wandered over here to the plums. Can't say hello to the orchard without checking out the plum blossoms. It's going to be another 2 or 3 days to a week before they just explode. But we're about into full swing of spring. I really enjoy this time of year. Everything's coming out, being happy. Cat climbing up my leg, that's not cool. Anyway, I've got a trench here. I'm trying to get some asparagus started right down the center of the orchard. Hope that's really good. Pretty excited about all of that. I have it all covered in a tarp. I think I might be making a video about it all by itself a little bit later. But a week ago or so, I had another implement show up on our homestead here. I bought a wood chipper attachment for the BCS tractor to replace my other wood chipper. One of my questions that I get all the time is like, did I ever figure out what happened to that other wood chipper? Other things took priority. I never took it apart. It's still kind of hanging out waiting for me to take it apart. But I found this wood chipper attachment, and I feel like it's a better fit for what I need. And the BCS implements are pretty heavy duty. I've chipped up a pile of wood chips so far. Whole ton of wood chips. Big pile of trees went through that thing already, and it didn't even notice. I think it's going to be a really heavily used tool, and I'm pretty glad that I bought it. And speaking of trees, thinning the forest, I've had quite a bit of help lately when it comes to making a forestry plan. My forestry plan is very long term. I'm not quite sure that I'm interested in harvesting timber in my lifetime. It's all vague. And in this county, to file for a lower tax status and so on and so forth, I need to have some sort of forestry plan as though I'm going to produce timber on the land. So, I'm thinking that direction with kind of a vague ending. But the bigger purpose right now, as I need it, is to maybe help restore what was left behind. I originally thought that the previous owner had logged and then done nothing after that. And a few more eyes on the scene know what they're looking for. They do this professionally, and they know that that it was in fact replanted after the last timber was removed, but it wasn't maintained after that. No thinning occurred. No selective thinning to, weed out all of the red alder weeds, and because of that, there's a lot of work to be done before it is back in a healthy, quick growing state. Now, nature finds its own balance, I understand, and I'm aware of that, but I kind of hope that if I can go out there and selectively thin in the right way, I can help that process happen in a healthier way and in a safer way, especially when it comes to like fire danger and so on. So I've had a few people come out, coach me a little bit. I've got a timber plan happening and being created, formulated. They've also given me some guidelines on like spacing if I want to start going out and thinning right now, which I think as I have time I'll try to do that. And I'm excited to see what that'll do. Of course, that's a ton of work. It's going to take lots of time and effort to make that happen, but the longer I live here, I had one plan going into this which looked kind of like those those happy homesteading books and stuff like that, where there's a lot of open space, a lot of pasture land, a big field for grains and other things. And the more I live here, the more I think, you know what, like there is kind of a natural balance in this part of the mountain which asks for trees and forest, and I don't know if I want to take that away. And there are plenty of things that grow in this forest that would feed me if I needed it to feed me. That just means a diet change for me, right? And in the meantime, I can just experiment with small scale grains and other legumes just in my little tiny corner that I can grow in, and I'll supplement with other farmers' produce and grains and so on. I can do that. It's just a different mindset. I feel like I'm always seeing new things, and my opinion is changing with more information all the time. So it's just another way to look at things. So, big project coming up is an addition to the yurt. We weren't planning on building a structure that was large to begin with. We were planning on building a smaller structure and adding on to it. Of course, our plans kind of rode a roller coaster when we first began this journey, and it looked like one thing, and then it changed and it changed and changed and landed on the yurt that we have. But because of our initial thought of starting small and adding on, it was a smaller yurt. Plenty of people can make this space work for them, but listening to my family and making decisions as a group, we feel like it's right for us to add on. So we've been in the process of getting some plans drawn up and permits submitted, or applying for permits to build. That's the right way to say it. And before long, we're going to start building again. So I hope you guys are interested in a few more videos like that. I don't know if I'm going to follow it the same way that I followed the yurt build, but I'm going to take it as it comes, and it'll be what it is. So I hope that's exciting for you all. It's not going to necessarily be a large addition. It's going to be square. It's not going to be a second round structure. and we've been working on putting it together on paper, and we're pretty excited about how it's turning out. So we'll kind of share that journey with you as we come. Also, the bees all died out last year. You guys kind of caught on to that. I don't remember how much of that I was able to talk about. But this year, here in a month, we should be getting a new nuke of bees to try that whole adventure all over again. I've learned quite a bit since then. I feel like I'm a little better prepared, and hopefully nature doesn't deal us a bad hand like she did for well, last spring. I would, if I understand the numbers right, 70 to 75% of Western Washington beehives died off suddenly, and it might have been the spring, but it wasn't all my fault, is what I'm trying to say. It was kind of a regional thing that happened, and this year we're going to give it another try. So I really have been appreciating everybody's comments and feedback. I know my videos aren't as regular as they used to be. We'll see what I can do about making it more regular. But ever since a big long history of trying to do more and not having it happen, I've adopted this Zen approach that videos come when they come. And in my heart, I hope to produce more for you and make this channel kind of come alive again, just with the spring, just like springtime. This channel can grow, huh? The videos can happen more and more. But really, thanks for all your support. I hope to produce good things and give you more to watch and enjoy. And I really hope this tricky pandemic is resting well on all of you, and that everybody is safe and well. I really worry about that. I know that I'm in a fortunate position here. Not everybody has this fortunate position, and my heart goes out to all of you. I'm worried, and I feel like one of the good things that's happening through all of this is how much people are standing up and banding together and helping each other out. Really, humanity is a good thing. I feel like there's a lot of fear that comes up, but it's always amazing to see how many people stand up and do good. And thanks for being so wonderful, guys. Thanks everyone for taking this journey with me on Simple Ground.